Okay, I think we could start, and doesn't really matter if not everybody is joined yet, because this meeting is being recorded, and I will make available the registration, of course, and also because the first part of this meeting will be about a quick introduction of the organization I'm representing today, which you can see from the logo on the top of your screen, which is AT Manufacturing. Very important. I'm not able, while I presented, to see you raising hands or else. Hello, Vivian. So if you have any question, please write it in the Q&A or on the chat, and I will be more than happy to address them as soon as I finish presenting. Okay. So very important to remind, this webinar is being recorded and transcribed for your information. What we're going to do today, first of all, I'm going to introduce AT Manufacturing, short intro, only 3 slides, no more than that. And then we're going to talk about, I'm going to present you this initiative that I'm launching that has been promoted together with Jamil and II4 and with another 2 co-organizers in Israel. So I will explain what is it, who is it for, why you should consider applying, and so on. And in case I will be able to convince you at this point, then we will go through the eligibility criteria, and maybe I left the icing on the cake at the end, tips for applying. So what I would really recommend you to do, how to approach the application form, how long will it take, how heavy it is administratively, and so on and so forth. Spoiler alert, it will not take more than 10 minutes of your time. So I just want to be sure, to be clear, sorry. Anyway, let's go straight to EIT Manufacturing. I reported here the mission of EIT Manufacturing. So the global manufacturing is led by Europe. In a way, it is EIT, the mother of EIT Manufacturing, is similar to the Israel Innovation Authority. And the mission of EIT is to support the deployment of innovation in the market. So we work from mainly from startup having products and solutions at TRL 6, and we have them achieving TRL 8, 9, and then further deploy them in the market. So it is it has a unique approach based on innovation. It's basically EIT Manufacturing is a public-private partnership. The private is EIT, the European Institute for Innovation and Technology. And the private partnership, I will have a slide later on explaining, but it's basically mostly are industries, European industries, but also research centers and some universities, technical universities as well. We have a holistic method which tested by EIT, so when it launches this initiative. EIT has launched so far 8, actually this year they will launch the 9th initiative, and 9 vertical, in order to be more hands-on and connect with the private, with the industries and with the ecosystem. As the name says it, EIT Manufacturing focuses on the vertical of manufacturing, supporting the transition towards digital manufacturing. You can call it Industry 4.0, Industry 5.0, whatever. These are, any name is good for me. The point is, we are helping transferring innovation from the lab to the market in the most possible successful way. We have more than 80 partners, and we have a budget, which is not a huge budget, but still 400 million euros over 7 years, the first 7 years, guaranteed, insured, which we use to support our initiatives. So this is a snapshot of our partners. Basically, this is the picture updated to February, and you can see that almost 60% are industries. Most of them are large ones, but you can also have here SMEs and so on. Unfortunately, up to now, there's no Israeli industry university or RTO yet. I hope that we will be able to have more people joining from Israel as well. Actually, even this picture is a little bit misleading, because there are 2 important areas that are missing. First of all, the industry, some of the industry reported here are industrial groups, and as a group, they represent all of the entities of the group. I'll give you an example. Team group, top left corner. Okay, it's a group. It counts for one partner, but actually they bring in 5 different companies. Olivetti, the group team, Nuvold provides cloud support, and so on. So actually, this is an underestimation of the number of partners in our portfolio, in our partnership. Secondarily, these are full partner members, but we also have partners that engage with us temporarily on a specific project that we co-finance, or partner with the so-called network partners that we connect in order to collaborate with them in our initiatives and so on, and their initiatives. So actually, this 80 partners is an underestimation of the real number of our partnership. And we focus. This is the last slide about EIT manufacturing. I will be more than happy to address any questions that you may have. But basically, here is to say that we focus on 4 technological areas that we call, or technological domains, actually, that we call flagships. And I wanted to add this slide because it's, in case you decide to participate to our initiative, you need to select in which area or areas your innovation falls in. And these are basically covering pretty much everything in manufacturing, innovation, and so on. But we try to give some clear direction and scheme to refer to. So of course, flexible production systems, we're talking about, for example, additive manufacturing will fall into this section. Low environmental footprint, we're talking here about green manufacturing, and so all the innovation that will reduce the consumption of energy, for example, or the emission of CO2s or else. Digital and collaborative solutions are more of the digital side of solution. In this case, in this area, for example, would fall a solution based on artificial intelligence for preventive or predictive maintenance, or prescriptive even AI analytics. While human-machine co-working areas, which is the last one, is, for example, related to the interaction between humans, so the operator or the supervisor in the shop floor, and machines, and is mostly, for example, dedicated to, I don't know, cobots, but not only cobots, of course. And bear in mind that this is a little anticipation of what I'm going to share later. Your solution may fall into more than one of these 4, which is totally fine. Just tick in the application form of which ones your solution or your company is more connected with. Anyway, let's move straight to BoostUp. So what is BoostUp? It's a competition. And we have run BoostUp competition across Europe for many years now, since 2020. And this is the first time that we bring BoostUp in Israel. And because of the specific ecosystem needs of the startups in Israel, we decided to be like snipers. So we decided, first of all, to focus on scale-ups. And with scale-ups here, I mean startups having a product, a solution, or service, which is at least a TRL 8 or something like that, fully proven. So this is not a competition scouting for startups who needs to prove on the market their solution. We are going to look for startups, so scale-ups, which are ready to internationalize. And this is the leitmotiv. And in addition for being a competition, which is pretty much standard, you apply, you're selected, you come, you pitch, and the winner will get something. Here we went one step further, and the winner will not just get an award or whatever, but will be invited to a matchmaking roadshow in Europe, in this case in Italy. And so this is what it is about. So it's about, you should see more than, rather than as a competition, you should see this as an instrument to start or to fuel your internationalization strategy. So again, what is BoostUp, who is it for, and why, the three what, who, why that I mentioned earlier. So it's an Industry 4.0 competition, which is organized and delivered by EIT Manufacturing. We're looking for, so I'm going to repeat what I just mentioned, of course. We're looking for ambitious, let me stress the word ambitious, Israeli scale-ups. These three words are key. You need to be ambitious and ready to internationalize, and you need to be Israeli. Non-Israeli scale-ups are excluded from this competition, and you need to have scale up a solution which is at least a tier L8. So you need to be ready to deploy your offering in Europe. And there will be, at the end of the competition, so at the end of the final event, there will be a jury composed by independent experts. So I will not choose the winner, nor any of my colleague of EIT Manufacturing. Independent experts will select 6 winners. So who is it for? Let me stress it once again. Israeli scale-ups, and I really want to make sure that this is clearly understood. You must have a focus, we should be clear, a clear focus in manufacturing. So if your startup or scale-up, for example, provides solutions and in your target and strategy and so on, only 10% of the revenues or the market is manufacturing, then you probably not, this is not probably not the right tool. Something I forgot to mention here is, yes, mature product and solution with existing business traction. I forgot to mention B2B, business to business. So we are going to support only B2B solutions and startups. And as a startup or early scale up, you need to have some business traction from commercial activities, meaning that you need to have at least 1, 2, 3 clients, customers who are billing with you, not just pilots and projects. Of course, we're not expecting you to have a business traction of $20 million per month or else, but at least a minimum, like I didn't put a threshold here, but I'll say this tool is dedicated to the scale-ups which have started validating and have a little bit of business, and they want to expand further, coming to Europe. And we're here to support this Europeanization, internationalization to Europe. So if you're going to ask me what is your threshold minimum, there is no minimum threshold, but I'd say at least $500,000 of business per year, $500,000 to $1 million on recurring revenues from commercial activities. So excluding the revenues that you got from pilots, one-off pilots, POCs or similar. And we're going to focus on top of those 4 technology domain, the flagship that I mentioned earlier. We're going to focus on 7 technology sectors, which they pretty much cover, if not all, most of the technology domains of Industry 4.0, for example. So let's say logistic technologies, predictive and preventive maintenance, data analytics and digital twin, so advanced sensors, meaning, of course, industrial IoT and all of their variants, connectivity and IoT infrastructure, advanced additive manufacturing solutions, and industrial cybersecurity. I put as the last one, industrial cybersecurity. I know it's one of the main flagship of Israel, but there's a lot more. So these are the 7 technology domain sectors. And when you apply, you need to select which one of those 7 do fit with your solution. Only one. So what is it for you? What's in it for you? We're going to select for the final event 12 companies. All of them will be entitled to receive a support, services from us. Could be mentoring with regards to your go-to-market, your go-to-European market strategy, could be support and feedback about your product offering in relation to what is requested in Europe, what is already available in Europe and what is missing, so on and so forth. So we're going to offer you a service agreement for up to 6 months. I think it will be about 4 to 5, depends on the startup. But basically, this is coming totally for free. You will can refer to me and my colleagues, and we'll give you some precious feedbacks about coming to Europe, what is needed, and so on. This will be offered to all 12 finalists. Okay, business intelligence or tech intelligence in Europe, for example, you can refer to us and so on. In addition to that, as I said earlier, we will select 6 winners. The 6 winners, in addition to the standard support offering and so on, will be invited to a 3 days matchmaking roadshow in Italy. 3 consecutive days at the end of October, after Yom Kippur, after the summer break and Yom Kippur. 3 days we will meet, we will connect with 3 industrial clusters in Italy. And each cluster we're going to organize in each of those cities a matchmaking event, but will be a kind of, again, a sniper event. We're not going to call for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 industries, because from our experience, it will be too dispersive. We're going to select 8 to 10 companies that we'll invite in order to maximize your interaction with those 10 companies. Which sectors we're going to invite, it depends on our finalists. So I cannot tell you upfront now, but we will organize the event based on the 6 winners that will come on board. And we're going to address 3 industrial clusters in Italy. The first one is in Bologna, central Italy, and the other 2 are in northern Italy, Bergamo, and then Turin. So why Italy? So everybody knows that Germany is the largest market for Industry 4.0, but why we're offering this roadshow in Italy? I'm Italian, so I may be, of course, biased, but there's a very concrete reason, more than one actually, reason why we should focus to Italy. You should focus to Italy first and then the rest of Europe. First of all, yes, Germany is the largest market. You can see from the pie chart on the right here, 27% of all the revenues coming from industrial activities in Europe are generated in Germany. So if you look at the GDP of industrial sales and so on, so industrial production, almost 30%, 27% is generated in Germany. So it's 27%, it's now 80%, first of all. But the second largest market is Italy, 16%. And then so on and so forth. For example, Spain and France together, they account for 18%. So the market, the industrial market in Spain and France together, combined, is almost similar to Italy. So Italy is a relevant market for you. This is the first message, the first reason. The second reason is that Italy is also the first supplier of manufacturing technology to Germany, meaning that there is actually Germany is good because they have large industries, but Italy is supplying semi-finished or tools or instruments. So there's a lot of industrial activity connected with Germany. Germany is the primary industrial market for Italy. So if you come to Italy, it's easier then to deploy to Germany. Okay, but why again Italy and not Germany directly? Germany is the first investor in Italy. So if you look at all the companies in the industries controlled by foreign entities, Germany has 1/6 of those companies, controlling 1/6 of those companies. So you can see there's a tight link between Germany and Italy. And again, last but not least, Italy and Israel, we are bonded Mediterranean countries. Of course, we're different. Of course, the culture is completely different. We are more, Italians are more creative and noisy and gesturing a lot and so on. But we are somehow closer to your culture than Germany. And so basically, it's, in my opinion, from the experience that we had in the past years, it's much easier for an Israeli company to land in Italy and then deploy to Germany, rather than trying to land directly in Germany. So this is what is going to happen with our master plan. So we have launched already BoostUp. The applications will remain, you can apply for until the 13th of May. the call will remain open for 2 months. Then by the end of June, possibly even earlier, we will select and communicate the finalist. By the way, each company that will apply will receive a feedback. Okay, so even the companies that will not be selected for the final event. But anyway, we will provide the feedback to everybody. We will, by the 30th of June or even early, ideally, we will confirm the finalist, and the pitching event will happen on the 6th of July. The 6 winners will fly to Italy, and will join the Italian roadshow, 24th, 25th, and 26th of October. It's a Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, if I remember correctly. By the way, the 6 winners will also get a little bit of money from us to cover travel and accommodation costs. So the 6 winners will get each 2,500 euros. So basically, the winners will get the money to travel for the hotel and everything, or most of the cost, of course, if not all, plus the matchmaking events, sorry, plural. So here are our amazing co-organizing partners. The first part that will be held in Israel, left side. We have I just already mentioned the Israel Industry 4.0 community. Another partner is the ET Hub Israel, will help us also co-organizing it. And SIBF, which is also a network partner of ET Manufacturing. And they will kindly offer us the use of their venue. So the final pitching event of the 6th of July will be held at the headquarters of the SIBF in Beersheba, not Tel Aviv, but Beersheba. And after the 6th of July, so the work, the first part of the job of our flow in Israel will be completed, done. In Italy, we teamed up with the Foreign Trade Administration, the Ministry of Economic Industry of the Israeli government, for more specifically with the Israel Economic Mission in Italy, in the consulate. And we will go in 3 cities, and we have 3 of our partners that will host those events. In Bologna it will be Gelify, in Bergamo it will be Brembo, and in Torino, in Turin, will be TIM. But the winners will not just meet with these 3 companies. They will meet with these 3 companies plus others. In each of the locations, there will be, as I mentioned earlier, 8 to 10 industries, corporates, or mid-size, whatever, but large industries, potential end users of your solution. So since I'm good with numbers, basically the target is to have each of the winner to meet with 25 to 30 industries along 3 days. Now, before we dig further, let's go straight to the application process. So the 3 points I will mention here now. First of all, the eligibility criteria want to be super clear so that in case you don't fulfill those eligibility criteria, you will not apply. You will not spend time in applying and so on. The second thing I will share is that how you will be your proposal will be evaluated, which are the criteria to evaluate your proposal. And then last but not least, my tips for the application in order to maximize your potential success. Eligibility criteria, super easy. The startup, or the scale up in this case, needs to be registered in Israel and with headquarters in Israel. So if your headquarters are not in Israel, or you're not registered in Israel, don't apply. Actually, if your headquarters are in Israel, but you originally registered in another country, please go ahead applying, because we will take exceptions in this case. But headquarters in Israel is a must. Secondly, as I mentioned earlier, you need to be committed to manufacturing. We're going as far as asking you a couple of names of your customers or use cases specific to manufacturing. Or from the application that you will submit, it must be clear that you are committed to manufacturing, to supporting the transition to Industry 4.0 or 5.0, whatever. And Third most important element, you need to have some revenue traction, as I mentioned earlier, from commercial operations, not from projects. Who are not eligible are partners of EIT manufacturing, but there's none from Israel, so we're clean. And in case either of you, any of you, have already participated in previous BoostUp editions and have been selected as a finalist for the final pitch event, then you will not be eligible to participate. So very simple. Since this is the first time that we're bringing BoostUp in Israel, I would assume that those two will not apply to you, to any of you, but I had to mention them, of course. In case of any question, top right corner, my phone number, direct line, or my email address. And by the way, yes, I'm going to share with you a copy of this presentation. I will put it in PDF in the chat of this group. And if you want to receive it, please take a note of my email address, gianluca.grifi@eitmanufacturing.eu, and I'm going to share it with you separately. Tips for applying. So first of all, application process, very basic. Log into the submission page. It's hosted by a company called Submittable. The link is in the web page of the competition. In case you don't have it, I reported it in the last slide of this presentation, which I will provide to you, and so on and so forth. So if you don't have a registration, a login, a profile in Submittable, you have to create it. It takes 2 minutes, no more than 2 minutes. And then in the application form, you have to fill in general data for your company, the name, the address, the name of the CEO, and few other information. I try to reduce as much as possible the amount of information that has to be filled in. I could not go below what is listed there, but I believe personally that is quite reasonable. And then you have to upload 3 documents: your registration certificate as a proof that you are incorporated in Israel, or you have to confirm that you have your headquarters in Israel somehow. You have to upload your pitch deck, company pitch deck, and your logo. Why your logo? Because we're going to promote you also in our media channel. So even if you will not win the competition, we will have your logo in our post and so on. Done, all that. In my opinion, from my experience, I did a couple of tests. Once the documents are ready, it took me 5 minutes to fill everything in. If you're really, really slow, it will take you up to 15 minutes maximum, no more than that. That's all you need to apply to our competition. It's free of charge, nothing to pay, and you don't have to do anything else until the day of the event, even if you are selected as a finalist. Pitch deck is very important, super important. Why? Because we're going to use the pitch deck to evaluate, mostly the pitch deck to evaluate your proposal. All other information that you upload in our application form is mainly used for the eligibility criteria or for our statistics. But the pitch deck is what the jury will look at in order to evaluate your proposal. And we're going to evaluate, this is all reported, by the way, in the guidelines of the application, of the competition, that are available in the website page of the competition. So anyway, 4 criteria, excellence. So how much innovative is your offering? How advanced, how new it is? I mean, of course, if you're going to propose something that is already available in Europe, doesn't really make a lot of sense for you to nationalize to Europe if it's widely available, at least. Second criteria is impact. So which impact are you going to have? Which competitive advantage your solution has. So based on the competitive advantage, you can generate a higher impact compared to your competition, and so on and so forth. Implementation. We're going to look at the people, the team. Is the team ready to support an internationalization strategy to Europe? If you're not ready yet, maybe you should, in our opinion, you should wait a little bit until you're mature enough. Otherwise, you risk to invest a lot of time, resources, effort, and without being able to harvest the results that you expect. Last of the 4 criteria is the strategic fit. So does your solution fit our flagships and our 7 technology focus and so on? This is important because we are EIT manufacturing. We are not EIT clean tech or EIT biotech or whatever. We are EIT manufacturing. That's why I mentioned it's important you have a clear focus and commitment to support the manufacturing sector. So last, most important 2 pages of my presentation, mind your pitch deck. This is most important because the rest of the documentation, as I mentioned, the information will be used to check your eligibility. So mind your pitch deck. So spend maybe a little bit more time to prepare it because that will make a difference between being selected or not being selected, being supported to come to Europe through this competition this year or not. So the pitch deck will be used to evaluate your application. Not only, it will also be used as a supporting presentation for the final event. Earlier I mentioned there's nothing else you have to do in preparation of the final event. In case you're selected, you just have to show up because the pitch deck that you're uploading will be used as the support presentation for the final event. Therefore, if from one end the work they have to do is only limited, then be very careful because then once you are in front of the jury, that's the information, the presentation that we're going to use. And it must contain these 4, you decide the format or everything, you decide whatever you want. You have to provide it in the PowerPoint format. So for us, it's easier to upload and show it, no? But it must contain at least these 4 information. Your use cases. So the pitch is not about your company. It's about the solutions that you're going to launch, that you launched in the market to address specific manufacturing challenges or problems. So focus on the challenge that you want to address and so on. Identify what we need to understand. What are your target markets, the description of your solutions or use cases and so on. So that's the focus. The challenge and the product that will address the challenge and the impact that you expect to have through your product or solution in order to address the challenge and so on. The pitch deck is not the classic pitch deck about your company. We're going to meet industries. Those industries, they don't care about the company. They care about what do you have to address the challenges that they have. Secondly, team competencies and organization. Of course, this could be only one slide, but you need to explain to us why you are competent and ready to go. How are you going to support the execution of your strategy? The competence is there. Third element, existing business traction from recurring revenues, from commercial operations. I mentioned that so many times, I'm not going to explain it furthermore, but at least give us an idea. For example, this piece of information could be linked to the first one, when you present your Industry 4.0 use cases. You can present real use cases with a real customer. 1, 2, whatever, but this is super important and interesting for us. And then, of course, your business development plans. This should not be super mega detailed, but you need to give us a flavor of how you're doing so far, including financial aspect, meaning that revenues so far. What are you going to do in the future, in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years? How do you see the ramp up? And how do you feel like, why do you feel you're confident that you're going to achieve that? Of course, it's very challenging to summarize everything in a presentation. Give your best shot. Now, the pitch deck will be used for the final event, so it shall be tailored to a kind of a 4-minute speech. I would say 8 slides, 7, 8 slides maximum. I don't know. If you put more slides or you write too much, it will be a document more than a slide deck. So make it lean it has to be catchy but lean. The experts that are going to evaluate you are independent from EIT manufacturing and are Israeli. They're not Italian or German, or they're Israeli with experience in internationalization. So they know Europe, they know Italy and Europe, and they know Israel. So you don't have to even, your target is an Israeli expert who is expert also in internationalization, who is knowledgeable about what is needed in Italy and in Europe. And you see, you don't make it difficult. Go straight to the point. Be clean. If I read your presentation, I need to be able to understand immediately what do you do, why you do it, what are your applicative domain or technology, who are use cases, what is the impact the solution will have. I don't know, reduction of energy, reduction of improvement of efficiency of the production line measured in a certain way, and so on. And also, last but not least, it shall explain, make it evident why should your company be picked up as a finalist and then also later on as a winner. Why you are the best choice to be invited to this Industry 4.0 matchmaking road trip to Italy. So that's it. As I said, I'm going to share this presentation here where it's listed the competition website. There is actually an hyperlink to the competition website. 6th of July, Beersheba is the final event. Take 1 hour of your time or even more as you wish to prepare your pitch deck, 5 minutes of your time to upload it and fill in the application form before the 13th of May. And that's it. All is done. And I hope I will see you among the 12 finalists in Beersheba. So here we are. If there is any question or any request, anything, let me know. Raise your hand. I will try and see if how should I, enable your microphone, or write the question in the Q&A section here or in the chat. Otherwise, I'll say we're done for the day. And just for your information, the weeks commencing the 14th. So the week after Easter, from the 14th to the 17th of April, that period, from the 17th to the 21st, I will be in Israel. And in case you are in the area of Tel Aviv and would like to have a chat, more than welcome, of course. Get in touch with me and we can arrange a meeting and so on, in case I'm not going to do any other presentation like this. Okay, so I will keep you referring to this video. I have mentioned many times that you need to be focusing on, on manufacturing. You need to have some business traction and so on and so forth. A little bit of effort from your side, and from our side, we will put you in contact with, as I said, 25 to 30 companies in Italy. And after the event and before this road trip, we'll get in touch with the finalists and we will work with you in helping you, in case you want, of course, refining your presentation, your proposition, how to speak to European companies. So if you've never been, actively, commercializing your solutions to Italy or to Europe in general, we can help. So we have a very much a hands-on approach, very looking forward to get in touch with you and to support you. So it's 12:41. Any question from anybody? Okay, Jamil, thank you. Thank you very much. By the way, Jamil is here representing the industry, Israeli Industry 4.0 network, and he's a co-organizer. He is also the one who tempered you with all the posts and everything. Amazing job in diffusing this initiative. And I'm very grateful to Jamil because this is the first time that we are coming to Israel with a structured program. And of course, nobody knows us, and we don't have the reputation of making things happen. We will make things happen. So if you have any question, if you please know anybody, any other entrepreneur who may be interested in this initiative, please feel free to pass along the presentation, the link to the website, my contact detail or anything. Jamil, I don't know if you want to say something. You're muted now. I just enabled you. Please go ahead.
Yes, thanks, Gianluca, for the explanation. The recorded session would be sent by a link for all those who register to this webinar, or? Not
only. So what we're going to do is that we're going to, okay, first of all, I will cut the first 5 minutes of the video because it was me waiting for everybody to connect. It's not really exciting. But apart from that, we will upload it in our YouTube channel of Yeti Manufacturing, and I will share the link. We will also put the link in the competition page. So if it will be available, accessible to everybody.
Very good. I think it would be very helpful.
Of course, of course.
Great.
That's all then. Thank you very much and have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.